Welcome guys. In this chapter, we are going to see CSS font and its properties. You can see we have a boilerplate code. It has some styles and some HTML elements. Let's quickly see the preview. Here you can see on the right side, we have its preview. So in this chapter, we will see some of the common CSS font properties. Like here, color is one of the properties of the font, and here it is black. If you update it to red, then you can see the color of the text had been updated to red. The another is the font width, which basically describe the thickness of the text. For example, if it changes to 600, then you can see it is more thicker than the previous one, which is 300. Now this thickness ranges from 100 to 900, where 100 means the thinnest one and 900 means the thickest one. And comes to font size, which basically determine the size of the text. Here if we specify 3 rem, then you can see the size has been increased. Let me fall back to 2.5. Then comes to font family, which basically determines how our text should look like. Here if you see, our font family is Times New Roman, which look like this. And if you see the other text, those are also basically Times New Roman. Basically, the Times New Roman is the default font family for the text. There are other font families in the CSS. Here you can see we have different type of font families. Those are categorized under sans serif, then serif and monospace. Let's quickly understand the difference between sans serif and serif through a image. Here you can see in our serif font family, the corner of the text are edgy, whereas in sans serif, the corner are mostly right angle. And in case of monospace, the character in the text are basically occupies same width. Now let's uncomment these styles and see how it affects our text. Here you can see I have applied a Arial class to this paragraph for Arial, Verdana class for Verdana text, Times New for Times New text, Georgia for Georgia, and Courier New for the Courier New text. So let me uncomment this. Here on the right side, you can see our Arial text has been updated to Arial font family. Similarly, let's uncomment about Verdana, and you can see the Verdana is now different. Similarly, Times New and Courier, if you see the monospace is now different. Georgia is bit different than the Times New. If you give a closer look to this Verdana font family, then you can see we have Verdana, then Geneva, then Tuhuma, and then sans serif. Basically, we can have multiple font family in the same line. So these are called fallback font families. For example, if a particular device or computer doesn't have the Verdana, then the Geneva font family will be used. If the Geneva is not there, then Tohuma will be used. And finally, if Tohuma is not also there, then the sans serif of that particular device will be used. Now we also have something called as font style. Here if you see, font style is normal, but we can give it as a italic, and there the text has been italic now. And finally, we have a about section and a paragraph. Basically, if you want to increase the space between these two lines, then you have to specify the line height. Let's see that in action. So we have about content, and then if I give line height as 2 rem, then you can see the space between two lines has been updated. The common is 1.6, which is this one. So that's all about the overview of the CSS font and its properties. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. See you in the next chapter.